Hello everyone, welcome back to another video, and you are joined here with the
Animals Unlocked. And today we're going to be talking about choosing a dog that's right for you. First things first, you're about to get a dog. You have to ask yourself, now that I'm about to get a dog, we know that every dog is different, and everybody as well has a different personality and character traits.
Definitely.
What does this mean? This means that not every dog is going to go with everyone. So today we're going to help you know which dog is going to be right for you. And I think when you reach this point in your journey in getting a dog, you have to ask yourself the most important question. Am I responsible enough to own a dog in my household? You have to think about the fact that you're bringing basically another family member into your home, and you have to know the responsibilities that come with that. And to add on top of it, you have to say to yourself, can I afford this dog? And when we talk about affording this dog, we're not just talking about the funds to purchase this dog. It's deeper than that, because when the dog comes into your household, there's things you have to consider. Can I take this dog to the vet? Can I get this dog groomed? Do I have enough funds to feed this dog daily? Because you want the best for your dog, and you want a happy dog, and you want the dog to be in a happy home.
Definitely.
And for all these things to be possible, the three things I just listed there, you have to keep them in mind before you even go ahead with getting a dog in the first place.
That's very true. And if you follow those guidelines, I'm sure the next question that comes to you is, how do I choose between an adult or a puppy?
And I always say that it's dependent on you, but I say that my personal preference is to go with a puppy, because I find it absolutely priceless to have the opportunity to see a dog grow right in front of your two eyes.
Right.
That is absolutely priceless to me. And another thing is to be able to mold, shape, and form that dog into the dog that you desire to be from scratch. That is something that I cannot take for granted. But if you're like those people who choose to say, I want to go with an adult dog, Warren, not everyone has the time to do potty training. I understand, but there are pros and cons to it. You have to scale to see how it tips. Look at both sides of the coin. An adult dog will not require potty training, but could have behavioral issues, guys. So it's up to you.
Now, I
But
just want
recommend
to
puppies.
touch on the behavior issues part that you're speaking about here, Warren. It's very important that my clients, or shall I say our clients, find out about this, because it's something very requested. Are you prepared for the behavior issues your dog could pose? Are you going to say this dog is a demon when this dog does this, or are you actually prepared for these issues that a dog could pose, like a lack of submission, barking in the middle of the night, biting people, or always having his mouth full? So are you going to rehabilitate this behavior with positive reinforcement or negative reinforcement? Are you going to be abusive, or are you going to actually set this dog up for success?
Definitely.
These are things that we need to consider before that we engage in that. And a very famous saying of mine is, in a dog's eyes you see his intentions, in a dog's tail you see his emotions, and in a dog's house you see his behavior. How is your dog behaving? Is he reflecting his beautiful genetic and his breed? Is he representing his bloodline, or is it the complete opposite?
I'm so glad that you mentioned reinforcement and positive and negatives and rehabilitation as well. Now, I think those are key words that we associate with training. And when we're talking about the responsibility of owning a dog, when you get a dog into your home, you have to be prepared for the idea of training this dog, because you
100%.
want the dog to be the best it can be. And for the dog to be the best, or get to a stage where it's the best it can be, the dog has to undertake training. And now, when you consider all of that, and you know that a dog has to undertake training, you have to ask yourself, am I ready to put the work in? Do I have the funds available? Because you don't want a dog who's a burden in the home. That is not the purpose of the dog being in your household in the first place. So it really is a big thing you have to consider. So those are the key words we associate when it comes to training dogs.
That's very true, and I know some of the viewers are going to pose the question. This all sounds nice, and it sounds easier said than done. But the question I have is, there's so many breeds of dogs out there in the world. How do I choose the right dog for my household?
And I would say you have to do the foundational basic first, and that is doing an examination on your lifestyle and the type of lifestyle that you lead. Because when you find out your own characteristics, only then can you know the characteristics that you're looking for in your dog. So you have to do this. And another thing that you have to do is that you have to make sure, am I the only one in my household? Are there children? If there are children involved, get a dog that's compatible with children. And you ask yourself a question, am I good at exercising? Is exercise something that I love? Then get yourself around a dog that will motivate you to do that thing that you love. You don't want to get a dog that's going to contradict that. Just someone who loves exercise, and you get a dog that doesn't require vigorous exercise like an English bulldog. Get yourself like a Labrador or Golden Retriever.
I love that. I love that. Are there children in your home?
Definitely.
That's a very important
thing to
question,
do.
especially for those people who question us as trainers and say, can guard dogs be family dogs
Oh, I
too?
love that question.
It has to do with children. First thing I want to say is yes, a guard dog can be a family dog. And this is why. Because a guard dog is genuinely safer than an untrained dog at all. And a guard dog is trained to protect the property and the owner. So if you don't pose a threat to the property of the owner, you shouldn't pose a threat to the dog too. And owners, guard dogs may be good to be at home and family dogs, but owners, please do make sure that your guard dog is under the right obedience training from the right trainers, the right instructors. Make sure that your guard dog is socialized with your family to avoid any conflict. Make sure that your children are not scared of this dog, or this dog doesn't feel threatened by any behaviors that they do in any way. These are things that you need to get straight before that you go into it. And if you're very peculiar about the breeds, I'm going to give you a few breeds that can be guard dogs and family dogs too. You can look at the German Shepherds, the Rottweilers, even the Pit Bulls, the Dobermans, and you can look at dogs like this. And if you want a bit more rare breeds that you don't just find anywhere, you can look at the Dogo Argentinos, which are known to be very loyal dogs. You can look at the Kangaroos, you can look at the Boer Bulls, and you can even look at the Belgian Malinois.
Now, when we talk about socialization, like you mentioned, I think it fits in perfectly with every dog. And we're talking about getting a dog, and it goes with every dog. It doesn't matter which dog you've chosen. Every dog needs to be socialized to stop problems like you just mentioned here about protection dogs, guard dogs. To have them be around families, and you don't want the dog to start going into himself and start to attack and having all those problems that people seem to complain about, and then they start to blame the dog. No, a dog can stop those issues by being socialized, and being socialized is for a dog to be around other humans and to be around other dogs. And when a dog does this, especially from an early age, it stops most of the problems that people seem to have in a dog being in itself, because it's around people. And when it's being trained to to become a guard dog, it knows how to differentiate between what it's protecting and who it's protecting against. So hopefully you guys have taken a lot from our video today, and you can now begin to understand why it's so important, the thoughts you have to put into choosing the right dog for you. But if you have any more questions and you're in this process yourself right now, and there's still some things you're still battling with, or you don't even know which dog suits your character, please leave everything for us in the comments below, and we'll be sure to answer. Because here at Animals Unlocked, we are the ones who unlock the potential in every animal. Thank you guys for watching the video, and we'll see you in another one.